Karl and Wren, congratulations for your magnificent achievement. We saw some photos from our friend Rick McGregor, and I have to thank him for that, for the videos and the photos of your arrival in Westminster.
Yeah.
How do you feel on having achieved your goal? How do you feel?
I think we're delighted to have got here. It still feels a little bit surreal that we're here. It's been really nice. We've met. I don't know. We had several of the SMPs came out to greet us, and then went and bought us some lunch, didn't they?
Yes,
they were absolutely lovely. And we've spoken to. There was quite a lot of press interest, which was good. And it feels very surreal, very, very surreal. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, right now the body hasn't gotten used to the fact that it's not still having to walk. And we were kept, even once we got here, with promotional stuff and meeting the politicians and photos and such. There's a great degree of...
From the mainstream media, there was any interest? Have you had any interview with the mainstream media?
With several media. We had Australia, didn't we?
Yeah.
Australian television were here.
Polish radio.
And the BBC, STV, which has been more coverage than we've had in the past, I think.
Yes, and there's somebody else as well. There were quite a few different news outlets and people coming along and interviewing us.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
So you feel the reception was okay for you? Do you feel the reception?
Yes. The MPs that came out were extremely interested in what we did. There were a lot of people around as well that were very curious about what was going on, particularly because there was a Brexit thing going on at the very same time, and so we kind of we gained a certain amount of interest because of the interest around us, and it was clear we were representing something, as were the various parties there.
Yes. Yeah.
So that very much to our advantage. Also, the fact that some things have been set up for Nigel Farage arriving tomorrow, and some of them had been bring him, because one of my main points about doing this was spurred on by his action. So it gave a very good talking point with regards to what we've just done and what it's all about as a whole. So it tied everything quite nicely with a bow.
Do you feel your way this another 500 miles have been good for the cause?
Yes. I think I don't know what you feel, but I think because as we've walked down the country, I feel there's been a bit of a butterfly effect, where it's enabled us to talk to people, not just people living in Scotland, but people who live in England, and I think that's actually spreading the idea that there is an independence movement which is alive and well in Scotland, which I think has been dampened down by the likes of the BBC. I think they would like to quite happily pretend that the movement doesn't really exist, but it does, and we've been able to spread that message to England, and I think that's a very good thing.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, there's the issue of the we've sort of been representing a different kind of democracy, because democracy as it existed seems to have if not extinct, it's a very rare species nowadays in this particular political climate. And what we've established is that a lot of people are still very interested in certain values that they don't seem to be able to see with the current government in Westminster. Mm-hmm. So, as we said before, we may be on very different pages with regards to how it should all end up and what particular ideology is the best way to go. Not everybody agrees that Scotland should be independent or what have you. But more important than that was the fact that they met two representatives of Scotland who were happy to discuss their particular viewpoint and who they felt would be able to not just take down our message, but also their message. Yes. And so people had faith in these two Scots to do that, and that reflects well on Scotland. And I think that is democracy is such an important thing, and it's such it's even rarer than British oil. So
yes, it's essential. It is indeed.
Very valuable thing to discover.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the atmosphere in London is very has shown, I don't know, the fear for Brexit, or how do you feel the atmosphere there?
I think it was very interesting around the Parliament building itself. There are a lot of different people there representing different things. On the whole, reception was very positive. I think there were a small group of people there who were very concerned with Brexit, and being very insistent that Brexit should go through as soon as possible, and as far as I can see, drop it off the end of a cliff. But they were actually in the minority. But there was nobody who was actively verbally abusive, or
except that one gentleman.
Oh, apart from one gentleman, yes. There was, and most people were very accepting and happy to have a conversation. I think, and especially I noticed people who had come from different countries. We had quite a few people with conversations with. There was some Italian women there who we had a conversation with.
A Romanian man, yeah.
Yeah, Romanian man. We had quite a few conversations with different people from different places, so that was good. Yeah.
Because there has been some problems lately, and I remember Anna Sobri complaining about the aggressivity of the atmosphere in London. So I was wondering about your arrival in London. Anyway, now I think you're going to have a break, and you have to.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any plans for another walk? Because I've seen something on Twitter, and I wonder if you're preparing another walk.
Not that we're aware.
Not that we know of yet. Unless somebody else is. I don't know. Yeah, I think we're at the moment we need a bit of downtime, I think.
Meaning that if you want to walk the Santiago walk, you will be very welcome here. You know.
Come and walk. Yes,
yeah,
come and walk. Yes.
Maybe we'll go to Catalonia and walk for Catalonia.
Well, any final thoughts, Karl and Wren? Any final thoughts?
I think we wouldn't have got down here if we didn't have a lot of support from Scotland. It's not just about Karl and I. I think we've had the likes of Cliff and the support vehicle, and Lindsay who's been here, and lots and lots of positive positive things from people back in Scotland who've not been able to make it down here. And I think there's been times when that's been really important, especially when we've been had hard days and we've scrolled through Facebook and people have been going, yeah, you're doing the right thing and thank you for doing this. So just big thank you to absolutely everybody who's been supported us, enabled us to at times have places to stay, just everybody who's contributed in whatever way. From wherever, yes, I think I just want to say a big thank you to everybody for enabling this to happen.
I'd like to underscore that point, because there were people, when we started out, it was a spontaneous decision, very short notice, and we decided it was something we needed to do, and we really we were doing it completely on a shoestring. We used money that we didn't really have to set off and do this thing, and we thought this is going to be a lot more difficult than it was, and people sort of heard about what we were doing, and they were saying, you can stay here, or if you want to stay somewhere, just let me know, and we'll pay, or buy yourself a hot meal, and things like that. I mean, it was a hard journey, much harder than the original, but it was so much easier and so much more possible because of the consideration and the contribution of all these people. They were as much of this 500-mile march as we were. Every single person that said, well done, keep your spirits up, you're doing us proud, because there were times where we really wondered what on earth we were doing. It was the weather was atrocious, we were wet, we were cold. The mountains, sometimes just the roads seemed endless, and they were. And sometimes we just wanted to stop and wake up and find it was all a bad dream. But that's the truth. The reality of it. But we knew these people were behind us, and we knew it meant so much to these people. We just could not do that to these people, and that was incredibly important. So I'd like to say, as well as Ray, a big thank you to every single person, and to yourself, who has been absolutely marvelous in covering and putting it out there. You've been inspiring other media outlets and other people to and again, it's all about the ultimate cause and the commonwealth of man, the humanity of, this is what Europe is about. This is about people connecting and people working together for a better world. It's not just about the singular causes. It's so much bigger than all that, which is why things like this are so valuable, and we really do appreciate what you're doing, and why things like Brexit is such a bad idea, because it goes against those very principles that all of us have been working so hard for. So.
Well, thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and covering your venture, and I have to say you are very brave, and I feel full respect for your decision, even when you're so desperate. So explaining that details, and that of course working is I think it's addictive, so be careful. But I think it's very important what you just did, and I think especially you too, being English Scots, working in England, explaining and spreading the word about Scottish independence, but also the feeling that the Scots have about Brexit, and they're so damaging and so heartbreaking for many of us who love
Yes, yeah.
Scotland. Okay, so thank you very much indeed for your example. Thank you. You're an inspiration. And thank you. And I want to thank, of course, my great pal Rick McGregor, that I know he was with the Rosalia TV teacher in London. And he was sending me the pictures and the videos to share to everyone of our followers. So I hope to see you soon. And if it's not working, we'll be demonstrating or marching, okay?
Yeah.
Or having a tea.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Bye.
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 Bye.